We could spend an eternity here, pondering these thoughts, or we could embark on the ultimate adventure and explore the unknown. In this pursuit, we would encounter wonders beyond our imagination, confront the terrors beyond our understanding. Discover beautiful new worlds, encounter malevolent dark forces, witness the beginning of time, and experience the moment of creation. The question that arises is whether we have the courage to persevere or if we would choose to flee back to our comfortable home. The only way to know for sure is to embark on this journey and discover what lies beyond. Our journey through time and space begins with a single step, at the edge of space, just 60 miles up, only an hour's drive from home. Down there, life continues. The traffic is awful, supplies keep trading, and Star Trek is still showing. But when we return home, if we return home, will it be the same? Will we be the same? We need to leave all this behind, to dip our toes into the vast dark ocean, on the moon. Dozens of astronauts have come this way before us. 12 walked on the moon itself, just 250,000 miles from home, 3 days by spacecraft. Barren, barren. It's like an abandoned battlefield. But strangely familiar. So close, we've hardly left home. Neil Armstrong's first footprints. Looks like they were made yesterday. There's no air to erode them. They could survive for millions of years. Maybe longer than us. Our time is limited. We need to take our own giant leap. 1 million miles, 5 million, 20 million miles. We're far beyond where any human has ever ventured. Out of the darkness, a friendly face. The siren of love, Venus. The morning star, the evening star. She can greet the new day in the east, say goodnight in the west. A sister to our Earth, she's about the same size and gravity as Earth. We should be safe here. But the Venus Express space probe is causing alarms. It's telling us these beautiful clouds, they're made of deadly sulfuric acid. The atmosphere is choking with carbon dioxide. never expected this. Venus is one angry goddess. The air is toxic, the pressure intolerable. And it's hot, approaching 900 degrees. Stay, and we'd be corroded, suffocated, crushed, and baked. Nothing can survive here. Not even this Soviet robot probe. Its heavy armor's been trashed by the extreme environment. So charming from Earth, up close, this siren is hideous. She's the sister from hell. Pockmarked by hundreds of volcanoes. All that carbon dioxide is trapping the sun's heat. Venus is burning up. It's global warming gone wild. Before it took hold, maybe Venus was beautiful, calm, more like her sister world, Earth. So this could be Earth's future. Where are the twinkling stars? The stunning rounds moving via room? Possibly we shouldn't be out here, maybe we should turn back. But there's something concerning the sun, something hypnotic, like the Medusa. Too terrible to consider, also powerful to resist. Luring us onwards, like a moth to a flame. Wait, there's something else, covered by the sun. It has to be Mercury. Obtained too close to the sun, this is what happens. Temperatures swing hugely here. In the evening, it's minus 275 degrees. Come lunchtime, it's 800 plus. Burnt then frozen. The carrier space probe is telling us something unusual. For its size, Mercury has a powerful gravitational pull. It's a significant ball of iron, covered with a slim veneer of rock. Stonehenge. For countless years. This was as close as it reached looking into the face of God. It's so far away. If it burned out, we would not understand about it for 8 minutes. It's so big, you might fit 1 million Earths inside it. But that requires numbers. We have actually obtained the real thing. We see it on a daily basis, an acquainted face in our sky. Now, up close, it's unrecognizable. A turbulent sea of incandescent gas. The thermostat pushes 10,000 levels. Can't imagine how hot the core is, could be tens of millions of degrees. Warm enough to change numerous tons of matter. Right into energy every second. More than all the energy ever made by the human race. Dwarfing the power of all the nuclear weapons in the world. Back home, we utilize this energy for light and heat. But up close, there's nothing soothing about the sun. Its electric and magnetic pressures appear in giant molten gas loops. Some are larger than a dozen Earths. Extra effective than 10 million volcanoes. And when they burst through, they expose cooler layers listed below, making sunspots. A fraction cooler than their environments, sunspots look black. But they're hotter than anything on Earth. And huge, as much as 20 times the size of planet. But someday, all this will stop. The sun's fuel will be spent. And when it dies, the Earth will follow. This God creates life, destroys it, and demands we keep our distance. This comet wandered off too close. The sun's warmth is boiling it away, creating a tail that goes for millions of miles. It's freezing in here. There's no doubt where this comet's from, the icy wastes of deep space. However, despite the steam, geysers, and dirt, the sun is once again warming the comet's icy heart. It's a type of huge, dirty snowball covered in grimy tar. Tiny grains of what looks like organic material are kept on ice since who knows when, maybe even from the beginning of the solar system. Imagine if a comet like this crashed into the young Earth billions of years ago. Perhaps it delivered organic material and water, the raw ingredients of life. It may even have planted the seeds of life on Earth that evolved into you and me. But what if it crashed into the Earth now? Consider the dinosaurs, erased by a comet or asteroid strike. It's only a question of time. Eventually, one day, we'll go the way of the dinosaurs. If life on Earth was destroyed, we would be stranded here, homeless, adrift in a hostile universe. We would need to find another home. Undoubtedly, Mars is the planet that most captures our imagination. Could there be extraterrestrial life here? Are we ready to rewrite the history books, to tear up the science books, to turn our world upside down? What happens next could change everything. Dead and red, Mars is a large fossil. Wait. Something lives. A dust devil, a large one. Larger than the biggest storms back home. There's wind here. And where there's wind, there's air. Could that air sustain extraterrestrial life? It's too thin for us to breathe. And there's no ozone layer. Nothing to protect us against the sun's ultraviolet rays. There is water, but cold temperatures keep it in a constant deep freeze. It's hard to believe anything could live here. Back on Earth, there are creatures that can survive in extreme cold or heat, even in the deepest sea trenches. It's as though life is a virus. It adapts, spreads. Maybe that's what we're doing right now, carrying the infection of life across the universe. Even in the most extreme conditions, life often finds a way. But on a dead planet? With no way to restore its soil, no heat to thaw its frozen water? All this dirt, it's hard to see where we're going. Olympus Mons, named after the home of the Greek gods, is a huge old volcano. Since its discovery in the 1970s, it has been proclaimed to have vanished. Hang on. These resemble lava flows, but any indicators of lava must be long gone, obliterated by meteorite craters. Unless this beast isn't dead, simply sleeping. There could be lava streaming under the crust right now, building up, waiting to be released. Volcanic activity could be melting icy water in the dirt, pumping gases right into the atmosphere, recycling minerals and nutrients. Creating all the conditions required for life. This makes the Grand Canyon appear like a crack in the pathway. Limitless desolation so large it would stretch entirely across North America. Indications of activity, disintegration, and what resembles dried-up riverbeds. Possibly, volcanic activity makes Mars fascinating. This could be our ancestral home. Maybe we are all Martians. The Mars we thought we knew is gone, replaced by this new, active, changing planet. And if we don't know Mars, our next-door neighbor, how can we even imagine what surprises exist ahead? Our compass points across the cosmos, back in time 14 billion years, to the moment of creation. This is getting terrifying. It's like being inside a huge video game. But these are all too real. Asteroids, some of them several miles wide. This one must be about 20 miles long. And there, perched on it, a space probe. It couldn't have been easy parking on an asteroid traveling at 50,000 miles an hour. It's a lot of effort just to investigate some rubble. Debris that routinely clashes, breaks up, and falls down on Earth as meteorites. Our ancestors saw shooting stars as wonderful prophecies. And they were right. Debris such as this combined to make the planets, including our own. Pretty magical. By dating the meteorites found on Earth, we can tell the planets were born 4.6 billion years ago. These are the birth certificates of our planetary system. For some reason, these rocks didn't create a planet. Something must have stopped them. Something powerful. Jupiter. What a beast. At least 1,000 times larger than Earth, so vast you could fit all the other planets inside it. Something this enormous controls its neighbors. Its gravity is pulling the planets apart. And it's breathtaking. But this beauty is a monster. It's almost all gas. Land here and we'd sink right through its layers into oblivion. And Jupiter's good looks? The product of vicious violence. It's spinning at an incredible rate, whipping up winds to hundreds of miles an hour, bending the clouds into stripes, swirls, whirlpools, and this, the legendary Great Red Spot. The largest storm in the solar system is at least 3 times the size of Earth, and it has been raging for over 300 years. All these spinning clouds may have triggered an electrical storm. Simply one bolt is 10,000 times more intense than any lightning on Earth. It looks like the best location to see Jupiter is from a distance, up there at the poles where those dancing lights resemble the auroras back home. Yet the Geiger counter is going wild, even these lights are deadly, produced by lethal radiation. Out here, nothing is what it seems. Deep space is full of terrors and traps. Perhaps the multicolored moon, Io, is a safe haven? Incorrect. Very incorrect. Those fantastic colors are liquefied rock, volcanoes spewing lava. Our journey across the universe is turning into a battle for survival. We have to hope that if we survive the dangers, we'll be rewarded with wonders beyond imagination. 400 million miles from Earth, flying a commercial airliner here would take nearly a century. What an odd-looking place, and yet, oddly familiar. a bit like the Arctic, with all that ice, all those ridges and cracks. It's Jupiter's moon, Europa, and possibly, like the Arctic, this ice is floating on water, liquid water. Yet we're 500 million miles from the Sun, and Europa is surely frozen solid. Unless Jupiter's gravity is producing friction deep inside, warming the ice into water, allowing life to thrive in the waters under its frozen crust. We might be just feet away from aliens, from a whole ecosystem of microbes, shellfish, perhaps even squid. The only thing between us and the possibility of alien life is this layer of ice. However, until we send a spacecraft to drill here, Europa's secrets will remain beyond reach. It has astounded our imaginations, haunted our dreams, and here it is, rotating before our eyes. Saturn, named for the Roman god who reigned over a golden era of peace and harmony. This planet is a large ball of gas, so light it would float on water. Its amazing rings would stretch almost from Earth to the Moon. There's the Cassini orbiter, picking up ghostly radio emissions. Most likely generated by auroras around Saturn's poles. These are the real sounds of the balls. Cassini is informing us where these rings came from. They're the remnants of a moon shattered by Saturn's gravitational pull. Matchless elegance from total damage. Billions of shards of ice, some as small as ice cubes, others the size of residences, collide, disintegrate, and reassemble. It's like a photo of our early solar system, as dust and gas orbited the newly birthed sun, and gravity worked its magic, pulling the lumps together until our home emerged from space debris like this. We may stay here permanently, but there's so much better to explore, like this moon wrapped in thick clouds, Titan. There's an atmosphere down below, with wind, rain, even seasons, rivers, lakes, and oceans. great gorge that extends to the beginning of time. Do we have the courage to jump? We're in the outer reaches of the solar system, hidden from Earth, unknown for most of history. It's like diving into the depths of the ocean. Those rings make it look like Uranus has been tilted off its axis, toppled over by a rogue planet. It's eerie out here, and we're starting to feel small and lonely. Perhaps this is how we'll feel at the edge of the universe, but we've barely left the shore. If the solar system was 1 mile wide, so far we've only traveled about 3 inches. Out of the deep, another strange monster appears, the god of the sea, Neptune. This world is covered in methane gas, and a storm as large as Earth, whipped up by vicious 1,000-mile-an-hour winds. Back home, it's the sun that drives the wind, but Neptune is far away. Something else must be causing these ferocious winds, but what? We know very little about our own solar system. However, those spheres of gas and the solid moon, Triton. Solid, but not secure. Just look at those geysers. Cosmic smokestacks spewing strange soot. And this moon is orbiting Neptune in the opposite direction of the planet's spin. A planetary battle of wills that this rebellious moon is destined to lose. Neptune's enormous gravity is pulling on Triton, slowing it down, reeling it in. Eventually, it will be torn apart by Neptune, and that's it. No more moons, no more worlds in our solar system. It's getting colder, we're moving further away from the sun, slipping from the grasp of its gravitational tentacles. But this isn't a void, it's teeming with frozen rocks, like Pluto. Until recently, we thought Pluto was alone, beyond it, nothing. We were wrong. More icy worlds have been discovered, but they're so new that no one can agree on what to call them: Plutinos, ice dwarfs, Cubewanos. Our solar system is far more chaotic and bizarre than we had imagined. Now, we're 8 billion miles from home. The most distant object ever seen that orbits the Sun is another small, unwelcoming world, Sedna. Discovered in 2003. Its orbit takes 10,000 years to complete. Hold on, there's something else out here. 10 billion miles from home, the space probe Voyager 1. This bundle of aluminum and antennae gave us close-up views of the giant planets and discovered many of their strange moons. It's traveling 20 times faster than a bullet, sending messages home. That gold plaque is a kind of intergalactic message in a bottle, a greeting recorded in different languages, and a map showing how to find our home solar system. The great physicist Stephen Hawking thinks it was a mistake to roll out the welcome mat. After all, if you are in the forest, is it necessary to call out? These comets look like the ones we saw earlier. There's a theory that the raw materials for life began out here, on a rock like this, until something ejected it, sending it hurtling towards Earth. And seeing all this ice, perhaps comets carried water to Earth too. The water in the seas, in your body, all from this distant celestial ice maker. We're 5 million, that's 5 trillion miles from home. But this is still just a baby step. Ahead, trillions of miles, billions of stars. It's time to stop looking back and start looking ahead, to step out into the vast, wide world, interstellar space. Billions of stars like our own sun, many with planets, most of those with moons. It's hard to know which way to go. There are infinite possibilities. We're going to need a serious burst of acceleration. "25 trillion miles from home, a 150,000-year journey in a spaceship, and we've only just reached the first planetary system beyond our own." Alpha Centauri, not 1, but 3 stars. Spinning around each other, locked in a celestial standoff, each star's gravity attracting the other, their blazing orbital speed keeping them apart. Get between them and we'd be vaporized, trillions of miles from home. So far that miles become meaningless. Out here, we measure in light years. Light travels 6 trillion miles a year. So we're over 4 light years from home, distances so immense they're mind-boggling. Who knows what strange forces lie ahead? What we'll find when, if, we reach the edge of the universe. "10 light-years from Earth, the star Epsilon Eridani, with magnificent rings of dust and ice. Ideal conditions for life to arise. And if a comet has struck, delivering water and organic materials, then life, complex beings like us, and even civilizations like our own could be down there now." They could be tuning into our television signals, watching shows from 20 years ago. But until we develop a way of communicating over these vast distances, all we can do is speculate. Us and them, living identical lives, unaware of each other's existence, unless life has come and gone. That's the problem with comets. They're creators and destroyers, as the dinosaurs learned the hard way. This is the needle in the cosmic haystack, the closest we have come to a habitable planetary system like our own, yet it's a chance encounter. There could be hundreds or millions more planetary systems like this out there, or none at all. Some of the atmosphere on this planet, Bellerophon, is being boiled away by its nearby star. From Earth, we can't see planets this far out. They're obscured by the glare of their surrounding stars. But the planets have a minute gravitational pull on those stars. Measure these tiny movements and we can show they exist. That's how we tracked down Bellerophon in the 1990s and thousands of other distant planets. 65 light-years from Earth, turn on your TV and you'd pick up Hitler's Berlin Olympics. The twin stars of Algol, known to the ancients as the demon star, blink as one star passes in front of the other. Up close, it's even stranger. One star is being drawn towards the other. Almost 100 light-years from home, faint whispers from one of the very first radio broadcasts. From here on out, it's as if Earth never existed. It feels like a lifetime since we lay on that beach, looking up at the sky, wondering where and how we fit in. We've learned one thing for sure. The universe is too peculiar, too surprising for us to guess what lies ahead. Deep inside our galaxy, the Milky Way, pinpricks of light have actually influenced 1,001 tales. The Seven Sisters, the daughters of the old Greek god Atlas, were transformed into stars to comfort their father as he held the heavens on his shoulders. And this Titan, Betelgeuse, the brightest, most significant star we have seen so far, 600 times bigger than our Sun. Yet this is not a star, not a planet, not like anything we've seen. A supernatural spectre, more than 1,300 light-years from Earth, in Orion's dark cloud. Dust and gas shroud us. There, deep within, a light is pulling the dust and gas towards it, warming up, combining into a ball of burning hot gas. Like a star, like our Sun in miniature. Inside, it's millions of degrees. So hot, it's starting to activate nuclear reactions, the kind that keep our Sun shining, making energy, radiation, and light. A star is being born. Orion's dark cloud is a massive star factory. We are witnessing the birth of the future universe. We have come to expect destruction, but this is one of the universe's greatest acts of creation. Star birth. This doesn't look right. Jets of gas are taking off with significant force, blasting dust and gas out for millions of miles. It's extremely fierce and creative. Galaxies, large beautiful clouds of gas hanging in space. Without any wind out here, they will take thousands of years to disperse. They seem to be creating a huge, excellent sculpture. Nature is more than a scientist, an engineer, it's an artist on the grandest of scales. And this is a work of art. Stars are born, grow up, and then what? Do they die? Do they slip silently into the night or go out with a bang? Somewhere between here and the edge of the universe lies the answer. Luminous clouds, suspended in space, encircling what was once a star like our own sun. All that remains of it are these brightly colored gases, elements created by nuclear reactions deep inside, released into space upon its death. Green and violet, hydrogen and helium, the raw materials of the universe. Red and blue, nitrogen and oxygen, the building blocks of life on Earth. For us to live, stars like this had to die. Every atom in our body was generated by nuclear fusion in stars that died long before the Earth was even born. We are all made of stardust, including the celebrities. Our family history begins right here. At its heart, the remnant of a star, a white dwarf. White, hot, tiny, and extremely dense. In the celebrity's dying minutes, its atoms fused and squeezed together, making it so dense that only a teaspoon of this white dwarf would weigh 1 ton. It's a chilling reminder of our sun's fate. 6 billion years from now, it will become a white dwarf. Its death will signal the end of life on Earth. It makes you wonder how many other worlds have come and gone, their stories lost forever. But the greatest story of them all is yet to be told. We must go back in time to the very first chapter, to discover how the universe began. The scattered remains of a dead star, the Crab Nebula. 6,000 light years from home, deep inside a stellar graveyard. We have learned a lot and seen things we never would have believed possible. Now, sights such as this, once beyond imagination, we take in our stride. We are ready to face whatever lies ahead, determined to reach the edge of the universe. This is the calm after the storm, after a massive explosion, a supernova that turned a star into dust and gas. The eye of the storm. A spinning pulsating star, a pulsar. The gravity has squeezed the massive star's core down to just 12 miles across, unimaginably dense. One pinhead of this would weigh hundreds, maybe thousands of tons. And as it shrank, like a figure skater spinning faster and faster, arms outstretched, then pulling them in, it began to spin faster. Two beams of light, energy, radiation, spinning really knows where. This is the edge of human knowledge. There may be millions of black holes lurking around our galaxy, even more perhaps than all the stars in the sky, but we wouldn't see them until it was too late. Like this star, spiraling, disappearing, down an invisible sinkhole. Who's to say we don't live inside a massive black hole, that the whole universe isn't inside one right now, inside another universe? Think about it for too long and your mind reels. Sometimes it feels like the more we see, the less we know. And we're still in our own galaxy, the Milky Way. The vastness of the universe beyond still lies ahead. The wonders, the dangers, the secrets, they're out there, waiting to be discovered. 7,000 light years from home. It's as if we are still in a forest of closely spaced trees, each one so beautiful and fascinating that it's hard to look beyond them to see the bigger picture. We must find a way through to reach the clearing on the other side of the galaxy. However, when we are faced with sights like this, it's difficult to leave. We see a gigantic, beautiful cloud topped by these towering columns of dirt. The pillars of creation. It's like a gateway to the unknown, a star factory filled with embryonic star systems, each one larger than our own solar system. We must resist its siren call and tear ourselves away to continue towards the other side of the galaxy. Blinded by the Milky Way's beauty, we have been heedless of its horrors and strayed into a cosmic minefield. It's like a slow-motion surge, a massive star that is many times brighter than our sun is going into a catastrophic explosion. The gas that sustains it is running out, and the nuclear reactions that power it are unraveling. We are witnessing its death throes. There's an even bigger and more unstable star that is about to explode, and when a star of this magnitude dies, it's 100 times more catastrophic than a supernova. We have stumbled upon the most intense form of star death. A hypernova. The core has collapsed, and it's becoming a black hole. That's the shockwave that's rising through the star, tearing its outer layers into space. Deadly hypernovas, icy comets, scorched worlds, white dwarfs, red giants. Tiny droplets in a vast pool of white light. Our home galaxy, the Milky Way. We need to know where we fit in. Here's our answer. Civilizations, past and present, every living being that has ever existed, from the tiniest insect to the mightiest mountain, are all imperceptible, not even a tiny speck. Our home is a small planet orbiting an unremarkable star. If it disappeared now, who would even notice? And yet, until now, we have not found anywhere else we would rather live. Nowhere else where we could live. Only now, far from home, are we beginning to truly appreciate it. Look at all these stars, so many of them. Surely, among them, more than one must be capable of sustaining life. perhaps here in this group of stars, the Great Cluster. In the 1970s, astronomers sent a message here, describing the structure of our DNA and our solar system's location. But the message won't arrive here for another 25,000 years. We have not yet discovered alien life, but we have not found any reason to believe it does not exist somewhere out there. There's a formula that's designed to estimate the number of other advanced civilizations, and the result is astonishing. There could be many civilizations just in our own galaxy. Everything we have seen so far is within the Milky Way. Now, we are ready to leave our home galaxy. To enter intergalactic space. Here's our chance to solve the ultimate mystery and experience the moment of creation. Beyond the Milky Way, through the vast expanse between galaxies, against all odds, we have made it to intergalactic space. Out here, there's no visible horizon. Even the closest galaxies are hundreds of countless light years away. The remains of galaxies are torn apart by the galaxy's huge gravitational pull, scattered among nothingness. This is as close as deep space gets to a perfect vacuum. However, even this isn't entirely empty. There are thin stars, clusters of stars, galaxies. It's a vast astronomical treasure. But look at this, it's like a string of shining pearls, a fireball expanding out from what must have been a massive explosion, a supernova. It was so intense that when the light from the explosion reached Earth 2 decades ago, it was visible to the naked eye. The galaxy. It looks like the end of the world, but this galaxy won't die. It will be reborn in a new form, maybe even new stars as dust and gas collide, creating friction, shock waves, and triggering the birth of stars. There's order in this disorder, a pattern behind the infinite expanse, an endless cycle of birth and death, creation and destruction, woven into the fabric of space that binds each of these galaxies. There are billions of galaxies, each with billions or even trillions of stars. Perhaps there are more stars than there are grains of sand on all the beaches in the world. We're finally starting to see the big picture, and it's bigger than we ever imagined. The massive Pinwheel galaxy is so far from Earth that if we send a message home now, it will take 27 million years to arrive. Who knows whether our species or our planet will still be around to receive it? Who knows whether our species, our planet, will still be around to witness it? We travel back in time, past the point where the dinosaurs were wiped out, beyond the moment when the first animals crawled onto land. We are 2 billion light years from home, nearing the edge of deep space, and approaching the beginning of time. This isn't just a galaxy, it's brighter than 100 galaxies combined. Such an immense and brilliant object must be extremely powerful. Experience tells us that out here, power equals danger. It resembles a quasar, the deadliest phenomenon in space. Our journey may end here, at the deadliest and most powerful object in space, a swirling cauldron of superheated gas, a quasar with a heart of darkness, a supermassive black hole as heavy as a billion suns. This monstrous object is ripping apart entire stars, devouring them until they are nothing and lost forever from the visible world. We think, we hope, we pray that we have seen the worst that space can throw at us, but nobody knows what lies ahead. We will need to go further and faster. We are now 8 billion light years from home, surrounded by more galaxies, but they look different. They are ragged, small, and close together. We have traveled so far back in time that we are seeing these galaxies as they were before Earth was formed. They are still young, still expanding, and we are getting closer to where and how it all began. Consider these galaxies now, they are more like primitive plankton floating in a vast dark ocean. Clouds of dust and gas dance, twirl, and merge to form the first galaxies. But they are disappearing, and we have gone back even further, before the stars were born, to a cosmic dark age. And before that, light, the afterglow from the massive explosion that created the known universe. This is it, we have made it to the edge of the universe, 80 billion trillion miles from home, 13.5 billion years ago. At the very instant of the Big Bang, the most terrible and creative moment in history. Everything that has ever happened follows from this moment. Every religion, every culture has contemplated it, but we still don't know what triggered this act of creation, or why. This is where our journey ends, and where the universe begins. A considerably hot, little, dense thing erupts. Creating space, time, matter, our universe itself. At first, it's the size of a subatomic particle. The smallest fraction of a second later, it's big enough to hold in the palm of your hand. Minutes later, it's the size of the Earth. Today, the light from the Big Bang is still spreading out. You can hear it as a radio hiss. See it as television static. All the wonders we have seen on our journey are sparks flying out from the Big Bang. Galaxies, stars, planets, all planetary particles. We move forward through time, riding the blast wave. Until we reach another cooling cinder, swirling in the afterglow of the Big Bang. We're back where we began. Home. Only now can we truly understand it. Smaller, more fragile than we ever imagined. Destined to die, consumed by a dying sun. But we shouldn't despair. We should celebrate. We've managed to experience the wonders of the universe. We should celebrate our achievements and enjoy our moment in the sun.